Bkt Granger was on a roll, winning the first two events here in Kansas City. Then last night, Tyler Menega beat him out, preventing the event sweep. Can Gravedigger go 2 for 2, or will Bkt Granger get Max D back to the top of the pod? However, for either of these two drivers to hoist the overall event trophy, they will need to keep Armando Castro and Kayla Blood at bay, which is no easy task. Both drivers have finished in the top 4 over the last 3 events. The Triple Threat Series East begins now. Hello everyone and welcome to the Sprint Center in Kansas City, Missouri. This is the 4th and final event of the season here in the city known as the Paris of the Plains. I'm Scott Jordan with Zombies Bari Musauer, and we'll be joined by Megan Lamani. And Bari, the fans here have been treated to quite the show over the last 3 events. Now, on paper, Tyler Menega has been red hot. 3 for 3 in the 2-wheel skills challenge, 2 out of 3 freestyle wins and ATV wins, but he only has 1 overall event championship here in Kansas City, which of course he won last night. Now on the other hand, Max D, piloted by Bkt Granger, has had great success here in this building, the Sprint Center, winning 2 out of 3 event championships. Tonight he goes for number 3. He's racked up wins in 2-wheel, ATV, speedsters, and freestyle, been consistent each night. Now all of that aside, who do you favor tonight as we take a look at the driver lineup?
Well, Scott, I mean, you really can't count any one of those 2 guys out. They've found themselves in the winner's circle a lot, but you definitely can't forget about Kayla Blood, Blake's wife. She's got wins in the donut competitions, and as well as, she's really tough on that ATV, so you really don't want to count her out.
Of course, Armando Castro has been really close to hoisting the event championship here as well in the Triple Threat Series East. You can't count him out. He's a world champion. But we all know Bari is a Triple Threat Series driver. You got to give us some insight on what we might expect here tonight.
Well, Scott, what separates the Triple Threat Series from our stadium counterparts is that in addition to the racing and freestyle, we break up the Great Clips Challenge into 2 separate events. We have the Great Clips 2-Wheel Skills Challenge and the Super Glue Donut Challenge. We've also added in an off-road driving skills, and as drivers will compete in UNOH ATV racing and the Lucas Oil Speedster obstacle course.
Now, each driver will compete in 6 individual competitions. They'll be awarded points based on where they finish. The winner of each event is awarded a total of 8 points, with the top point earner being named tonight's overall event champion. Before we kick off tonight's event, let's break down the Triple Threat Series track from the Sprint Center in Kansas City.
Well, Scott, the Triple Threat Series competes on a more compact track layout. It features a single 8-sided pod, and drivers really have to be innovative while they're performing. For the monster truck racing, it's not only about speed, but finesse. If a driver hits either turning box, they will be automatically disqualified. In these small venues, threading the needle is key. Let me tell you, Scott, as a driver on the Triple Threat Series, the pressure to do that night in, night out, it's immense, man.
And the pressure will start with Monster Energy Monster Jam Racing. Here's tonight's racing bracket, as we'll showcase Chicago-style racing tonight. Soldier Fortune has won 2 out of 3 so far, but Armando Castro last night defeated your zombie teammate Joe Uri for the win. So who do you like in racing here tonight?
Man, I'm staring at that Gravedigger, that black and green wrecking machine. He's on the same side of the bracket as Bkt Granger and Max D. Those are 2 that you really want to watch out for.
We kick it off with Armando Castro, last night's racing winner, Bernard Light in Alien Invasion. Here we go, Chicago-style racing, round and round this circular racetrack. Love seeing him go head-to-head here in the Triple Threat Series.
Wow, nice pass there for Bernard as he takes the win. That was a clean pass for him, advancing into round 2.
A little bit of an upset as we take a look at the original Super Glue replay. Bernard Light just edging out Armando Castro. Kayla Blood and Aaron Basil now will do battle here in our second matchup. The light is gone green. Great first turn, but she gets a stop there up on 2 wheels, and now Aaron Basil has a chance to win this thing.
Oh, man, she really had a nice entry to that turn, too, and it looked like she just got the truck rotated a little too fast. So you really have to be in a rhythm around these turns in order to make it pay off for you.
Kayla Blood was not in rhythm on this turn, got up actually on just one tire. What went wrong for her in that turn?
She just got the truck rotated really fast, and she was pointed towards the pod instead of the outside where she needed to be.
And Tyler Menega gets off to an uncharacteristically slow start, but Joe Uri having problems of his own, and he is now trying to take this turn, gets it sideways up on the pod. That's not going to work, especially against Tyler Menega and Gravedigger.
Yeah, so that's 2 races in a row. We saw the same mistake in the same corner being made. So let's see if Jack Brown and Blake Granger can learn from those mistakes.
Blake Granger again on that turn. This was the opposite side of the track. Now same problem.
Wow, yeah, and I just saw Jack Brown graze that turning box. I hope that doesn't come back to bite him. Ooh, and it does.
There you go, Barry. So Blake Granger advancing. That is a tough call there. It looked like he just barely touched that turn box.
Yeah, that's equivalent to like a flop in basketball. Whenever somebody, you're trying to get a foul called on somebody. That's a shame, man. Tough break for Jack.
So we move on to semifinals. Alien Invasion, Monster Mutt, our first semifinal matchup. Bernard Light, Aaron Basil. Bernard Light off the starting line faster than his counterpart. Stops a little bit around the turn. Aaron Basil starting to catch up here to Bernard Light.
That was a great hole shot from Bernard Light, but he couldn't maintain that advantage as the veteran Aaron Basil takes that victory.
Great opportunity for Aaron Basil moving on to the finals. Blake Granger, Tyler Menega. We've seen this matchup so many times. Both of them with great turns. Blake Granger not going to make that same mistake twice, but Tyler Menega putting on the gas. And at the end of the matchup, it is Blake Granger taking advantage and getting the win.
Yes, indeed. Tyler kind of was really too conservative, I feel like, in that race, and that's what cost him the victory.
Take a look at that original Superglue replay. A fraction of an inch is the difference, allowing Max D to advance. And to add insult to injury, Gravedigger now heading to the pits. Hopefully it's not too serious. We'll see if we can get you an update on the status of Tyler Menega and Gravedigger later. But right now, our finals are set in Kansas City. Aaron Basil going up against Blake Granger in the Monster Energy Racing Final. Barry, which of these two drivers has handled the track better tonight?
Aaron Basil has been really smooth all night tonight. Let's see if we can carry that momentum into this final round. Hopefully he can get a victory. We'll see.
Very even right now. Look like Blake Granger took the turn a little too wide. Aaron Basil, a great final turn, and he's going to win this thing.
Man, that's awesome. That just goes to show the true veteran, Aaron Basil. He's been around this sport so long, he made it pay off here tonight.
Aaron Basil takes the first 8 points of the night. Blake and Tyler finishing second and third. But the big question is, what is wrong with Gravedigger? In trouble early. We'll see if he can return right now. We'll head down to the track as Megan Lamani has caught up with our racing winner, Aaron Basil.
This is your first win of 2020. It's got to feel so good.
Oh, I'm so pumped right now. I've been chasing around these awesome drivers all weekend long. Nick Minguez, Jack Brown, they've given me a good piece. They put this truck back together with me last night. I'm just so excited right now. You just have a hard time imagining how bad I wanted to beat that Max D truck right now.
Well, as Aaron Basil celebrates his racing win, the celebration will be short-lived. These drivers will transition into their ATVs when Monster Jam returns. Monster Jam is brought to you by Great Clips, home of the online check-in app. Great Clips, it's going to be great. And by Spin Master, real trucks, real action, Monster Jam. Welcome back to the action here at the Sprint Center in Kansas City, and we have some breaking news. We are hearing that Tyler Menega may be having motor issues, and we'll continue to monitor the situation as it's now time for UNOH ATV Racing for a breakdown. Let's go down to Megan.
Kansas City, as you can see, I am in the pits right now. Our athletes have now transitioned from their Monster Jam trucks to their ATVs. This is a true test of their Monster Jam University powered by UNOH training. 4 athletes will race 4 laps in the first heat. Their heat finishing order will determine where they start in our ATV finals.
Thank you, Megan. Barry, as you know, there will be 2 heats, and here are the brackets. So a big transition here, going from a 12,000-pound Monster Jam truck to a slightly smaller ATV.
Yeah, but you really have to manhandle these ATVs around the track. They are no joke, man. It's like night and day compared to driving that Monster Jam truck.
So when you get into our first heat, you look at all the names here. Kayla Blood clearly hands down above the rest of the competitors, been the strongest ATV rider this season. Probably an easy favorite to win. Anybody can give her a run for her money here in this heat one.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you got Armando Castro there right there in the thick of things. He's fallen into second place. As you can see, Kayla Blood is off to a great start. She's got an early lead. See if she can maintain it, though.
She's followed by Armando Castro and El Toro Loco, so he's trying to give her a bit of a run for her money. All she needs is a slight lead, and she won't look back here. We've seen her time and time again on the Triple Threat Series East just dominate her heat and get into that final. She gets great position. It's all about lane choice here right now.
Yeah, and you definitely want to make sure. Oh no, Joe Uri's in trouble there. As you can see, they safely navigated around him. So, yeah, but to touch on what you were saying, Kayla's just awesome at these ATVs. She's so fast. She's so smooth at it. And she really sets herself up for a good starting position in the main heat.
Now, she has not looked back, not even once, as she's distancing herself now from the rest of the competition. You want to get the top lane, that top spot, the pole position when you get to the final heat. That always helps when you jockey for position. So there's your results of ATV Racing Heat 1, Soldier Fortune, El Toro Loco, Megalodon, and Zombie. And now Heat 2 is about to begin. We know that Gravediggers won 2 out of the last 3 events. Max D's Blake Granger, the world champion, took the other victory here in Kansas City. So obviously you think it's going to come down to these two in heat number 2, correct?
Absolutely correct, but that's why we run these races. You never know what's going to happen. As you can see, Tyler had a great push on the outside of the track. He carried a lot of momentum into that first turn, which gained him the lead so far.
And when you watch Tyler Menega on this ATV, he's so smooth with his transitions into his turns. You see a lot of these drivers, as Blake Granger now making a move up to second, you see a lot of these drivers get a little jerky when it comes to the turns, but Tyler just so smooth in realigning his ATV, so that gives him an advantage here. But Blake Granger now, Barry, starting to close in a bit.
Yes, and that's when the conditioning comes into play. When you can actually, like I said earlier, manhandle these ATVs and put them in the position you want them to be in, it really makes for a great race. These two are battling it out now, though.
Here's the final lap as Blake Granger trying to find a slight opening, but Tyler Menega now blocking Blake Granger at every single turn, and he would have had to have taken him right there. That's the final straightaway, and Tyler Menega, Gravedigger, takes heat number 2. So our 2 preliminary heats are over. It's now time for the main event. Let's get back to Megan for the breakdown of our ATV final.
It is now time for our ATV Racing Finals, powered by UNOH, contested under our exciting Black Flag rules. All of our athletes will start at the same time, and after 2 laps, that's when our Black Flag eliminations begin. The athletes in 7th and 8th place will exit the track, and that will continue on until there are only 2 athletes remaining. Those 2 athletes will start back at the starting line, race a 2-lap race, and the winner of that will win 8 points towards their overall score.
We'll see who takes the whole shot here. You have Kayla Blood and Tyler Menega now in those top 2 spots. And she puts the pressure on the inside lane, and Kayla Blood now out to the lead, followed by Tyler Menega. Blake Granger causing a pileup. Gets in front of Tyler Menega, try to get in front of Kayla. She was not having any of it.
Yeah, that's almost what you have to do, man. You have to force the issue on these ATVs to gain that crucial positioning, because it's really hard to pass. As you can see, some of our competitors are even bottled up there on the turn, so it looks like they've cleared themselves now, though.
And you have very little time to adjust if you're in the back of the pack, and a pileup happens with these Black Flag eliminations, as now Max D taking the lead from Kayla Blood, and Tyler Menega right there has some issues, and he basically blocked out Kayla Blood and allowed Blake Granger to take the lead.
Yes, and she shook her head in disgust. She was not happy with the fact that Tyler was right there, which handed Blake the easy pass for the lead, and he's really probably not going to relinquish that lead now.
Tyler Menega's night not getting any better, and UNOH ATV Racing, Blake Granger, the 2019 Monster Jam World Finals ATV Racing champion. He's won 2 out of 3 in Kansas City, trying to make it 3 out of 4 here right now. And he's got to battle his wife, Kayla Blood. And we're down to our final 2, Bari, and it is husband versus wife once again, scoring off in the final. So as good as Kayla is, she's not fared well against her husband this year. What can she actually do to get a win over Blake?
She's really going to have to get an early lead and block him. That's the only way.
We know when he's in front, as you said, he's very tough to get past, as he's one of the best blockers I've seen in Monster Jam on an ATV, a reason why he's a world champion. He gets out in front early, going outside. Kayla Blood now has to play catch up with her husband, Blake. Now look at the blocks, just way he navigates that ATV effortless.
As soon as you think you've got an opening, Blake just accelerates away, and man, look at the acceleration. He starts to make links on you, and there's really nothing you can do about it. You just kind of got to watch him pull away from you.
And he continues to look back at his wife, and crossing the finish line, Blake Granger, a world champion on these ATVs for a reason. Today he showed us why.
Absolutely, man. Good race for him. Good race for Kayla. It's going to be an exciting finish, but we're just getting started.
Megan is with Blake Granger.
We got the two-wheel skills challenge coming up next. How are you going to transition from your ATV into your Monster Jam truck?
You know, this ATV gives me a lot of advantage when it comes to getting in one of these Monster Jam trucks. We made the finals in racing. We just won ATVs. Oh, it's all about staying consistent for this triple threat series. We're going to come out here. We're going to lay down the best two-wheel skills challenge we can.
Blake has come out swinging tonight in the last two events. Also, if he can keep it up, his momentum is going to make it tough for anybody to challenge him.
Yeah, it looks like he's starting to pull away from the pack a little bit. It's going to really play out good, though, for him later on.
Blake Granger has put the rest of the field on notice. We'll see how they respond. The Great Clips Two-Wheel Skills Challenge and Super Glue Donut Challenge are coming up next. Welcome back to the Sprint Center here in Kansas City, Missouri. And all of us at Monster Jam could not be more proud to be a partner with an extremely worthy cause, St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. In an effort to combat childhood cancer, we invite you to join the movement. Text to donate right now. Text Monster Jam to 785-833 to donate and to save lives. Earlier, we mentioned that Tyler Menega and Team Gravedigger had reported engine troubles. Now track officials have confirmed that Gravedigger will not make it back on the track for either the Donut Challenge or the Great Clips Two-Wheel Skills Challenge. Barry, that's a tough turn of events now for Tyler, who forfeits 2 rounds.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I know he was really hoping to make it tough for Blake Granger and the rest of the competitors to come out here and win, but man, it's going to tough break for Tyler.
It's time for the Great Clips Two-Wheel Skills Challenge recap. Each driver had 2 attempts at their best two-wheel skill, and here's how our top 4 fared. Bernard Light, Alien Invasion, big sky wheelie, getting the back 2 tires down on the pod, gets it right back down. Great move. Then Joe Uri and Zombie.
Oh yeah, always love this timing move of being able to back off the pod and shift from reverse to forward. Man, that was awesome. And he's losing the zombie face to boot. That was cool.
Max D looked to extend his lead even more and was rewarded with 2nd place. Great stoppie into the nose wheeling moonwalk on top of the pod for Blake Granger.
That is just an amazing move, this popper. And then he's working the rear steer. As you can see, those rear tires are turning back and forth. He's using a toggle switch to do that. So a lot going on there in the cab for Blake Granger.
Unbelievable throttle control for Blake Granger, but he was only awarded 2nd place by the fans here at the Sprint Center. And that was because the Crazy Bull hit this popper into a nose wheelie and kept it up for days and days and days. I don't think Patrick Mahomes could throw a pass with this kind of airtime.
Yeah, you're probably right, Scott. I mean, the way that Armando attacked this move, the entry that he did, catching that truck on the nose like that is an unsettling feeling. You know, you're flirting with disaster. You're on the edge right there at that balancing point. So you really have to be focused and just know that you're in complete control, even if it just doesn't look in control. As you can see there, he's about to rip the nose clear off of El Toro Loco.
Then he about ripped the roof off this building. The fans went crazy for Armando Castro. He's had a dynamite year in this competition, a consistent weekend in Kansas City. And here's where the full field placed. Our competitors battled it out for the 8 points, but it was Armando Castro raging to the top.
Man, Armando's run was undeniable.
Megan caught up with Armando Castro.
You must be really excited about this two-wheel skills win.
Yeah, my first win of the season. I mean, I've been taking a lot last year. But you know what? These guys are so good at what to do. I just came out here with a clean mindset. I'm just gonna calm down a little bit and just go down to the basic and then just keep calm.
Surprising, this is his first win in the competition. He's had some great moves in the Great Clip Skills Challenge, but Armando will be climbing back into El Toro Loco as it's time for the Super Glue Donut Challenge. And this event is all about speed, control, and creating some wow moments for the fans. And Bar, you guys make donuts look so easy, but obviously we know they're not.
No, they're not. You really have to set the truck up to be able to work it into a donut. Otherwise, you might end up on your lid.
Blake Granger and Max D comes out on the far side of the track, gets a deep donut, gets some rotations going, and he had Max D moving.
Anytime you can dig through the dirt down to the concrete, you know you've got a good shot at getting into that cyclone stage where that donut is whipping around really fast.
Armando working off his momentum from skills, got himself a second place finish here. Looked like he was starting off a little slow, got it into a rhythm and pulled all the stops out here in this donut.
Yeah, as you can see, the truck is leaning a little bit. I wonder if he's got like a tweaked sway bar or something, but the fans loved it, that three-wheel motion there.
In the end, it was Kayla Blood winning her third straight donut challenge, so she's had a great night tonight so far as well, but gets that front tire off the track. That's what you want to see in a donut. If you're not going to get the cyclone, do it on three wheels.
Yeah, and she dug down to that concrete, man. That was a great donut for her.
And with the win, Kayla gets 8 points. She now finds herself tied with Armando Castro in second place for the overall event championship with 21 total points. Here are your BKT overall point standings. Now both are trailing Blake Granger by 6 points going into our last two events, Bari, with 16 points still up for grabs. They both still have a realistic opportunity at catching Max D.
Yes, they do, but they're going to have to be consistent, and they're going to try and hopefully hope that Blake makes a mistake at some point. Otherwise, he's going to be carrying that momentum into another victory.
Surprise of the night, Gravedigger only 9 points. That's got to be tough on Tyler Menega, but it opens up the door for the rest of the field in freestyle if he can't come out. Right now, it's time to check out this week's Monster Energy Action of the Week. We go to Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, watching Neil Elliott, the master of the Gray Clip Skills Challenge. Talk about this incredible popper.
You said it, Scott. He is the master. I mean, he makes this look effortless, and he really is really composed inside that Max D truck. He's able to just balance it and drive on two wheels this slow. I don't even think I could do a forward wheelie this slow. This is amazing.
He does this each and every week, each and every event, and just... I use the word dominant a lot, but there's nobody, I think, right now better at this competition than Neil Elliott to just be able to come out and do this. That's why every week it puts him in contention for the event championship. There's a slower look here on the replay, gets that popper up, gets the extension, gets the nose wheelie, and then able to moonwalk it back up over that race ramp.
Yeah, and just so composed to be able to back it over that obstacle there and set the chassis down on that obstacle and still keep going. Man, that's amazing.
Neil Elliott with the incredible Monster Energy Action of the Week. Back in Kansas City, it's Blake Granger with a comfortable 6-point lead as we transition to the next competition. The Speedster obstacle course is coming up when Monster Jam returns. Welcome back to Monster Jam here in Kansas City. It's become a 3-driver race as we move on to the next competition. And it's time for the Lucas Oil Speedster obstacle course. Our athletes will race these speedsters through the course featuring 5 turns and 3 jumps. The track has been designed to challenge these machines' handling, agility, and speed. Drivers will be immediately disqualified if they hit a turn pole, so a driver's skill is also put to the test. This competition is aggressive and unforgiving as our drivers will bump, bang, and pass one another to claim the event points towards the overall event championship. Take a look at tonight's Speedster Racing bracket. Tyler Menega getting back on the track after missing the last 2 Monster Jam truck competitions. As competitive as Tyler is, he has to be revved up for this one.
Yeah, and he's definitely not going to let the truck affect his Speedster performance. He definitely wants to get out there and win still.
Zombie and Megalodon, Gravedigger, Soldier Fortune, 2 exciting round 1 matchups. And we kick it off with that Megalodon Zombie matchup. We've seen Joe Uri do some great things in this competition, but Jack Brown not going to make it easy. And so Jack Brown gets a jump, taking the inside lane now on Joe Uri. So a great start for Jack Brown.
Yeah, I really thought for a second there that Joe was going to be able to take advantage of the fact that Jack Brown jumped up onto the pod, but Jack is in full control now.
Final stretch, Jack Brown hanging on to the lead right now. Joe Uri trying to play catch up in the final turn. Jack Brown goes deep, and Joe Uri gets up on 2 wheels. It looked like Jack Brown gave him the inside lane. Joe Uri couldn't take advantage of it.
Yeah, he tried to, but he got up on 2 wheels. He pushed it to that last very moment, just didn't pay off for him.
Armando Castro, Bernard Light up on the pod. Armando Castro now trailing Bernard Light. He had a great start. And here they come around this straightaway. So Bernard Light looking to make a move here on the tight turn, and he goes wide, and that opens the door for Armando Castro. What a stunning turn of events. Bernard Light had him, and Armando Castro now in the lead.
Yeah, and that was really cool to watch Armando go to work and just pick his spot where he was going to make his move, and he's away for a win.
And sometimes you just have to be patient and await that opportunity, await for that door to open and walk right through it. Here's a great matchup. Tyler Menega, Kayla Blood up on the pod. They go. Tyler Menega gives the nudge to Soldier Fortune. So Tyler Menega now with the lead. He's got to battle back tonight. There's got to be a lot on the line here for Tyler in this competition.
Yeah, Tyler's not going to let the fact that he wasn't able to compete in the last 2 monster truck events, so he definitely wants to make his presence known here in these speedsters. As you can see, Kayla giving him a nice nudge there.
She's giving him everything she has, trying to push him out of the race lane. And Tyler Menega makes the final turn, gets the jump over the finish line. And Tyler Menega's redemption tonight continues in the Speedster obstacle course. Blake Granger, Aaron Basil now doing battle up on the pod. They go. Blake Granger, great run up on the pod, coming back down, taking the lane away from Aaron Basil. And now they go into the straightaway. Here comes Blake Granger around this turn and across into the second half of the track.
You got to think that Blake probably wants a little bit of revenge from earlier tonight in the racing final in the Monster Jam trucks, as he's out to a big lead right now over Aaron Basil.
Final turn and jump over the finish line. Blake Granger advancing to the semifinals here, the Lucas Oil Speedster obstacle course. Round 1 in the books. The semifinal bracket is set. Once again, it's Gravedigger and Max D. And earlier in racing, these two battled to a photo finish that resulted in Blake getting the win and Gravedigger going to the pits with engine issues. Is Tyler looking to settle a score here?
Oh, you know he is. I mean, Tyler is never going to want to back down, especially when that Max D Speedster is in the other lane.
We'll get to that matchup here in just a minute as Armando Castro and Jack Brown do battle one spot in the finals, and Jack Brown taking advantage of that move. Armando Castro had some issues getting up on the pod, and now Jack Brown trying to make it happen and get to the finals in the Speedster obstacle course. Here comes Armando Castro, and Jack Brown holding him off right now.
That was a nice little block move that Jack Brown made on Armando. That's Armando's spot where he tries to make a pass and he wasn't able to make it pay off for him. Looks like Jack Brown is off for the win again, man. He's got these speedsters figured out.
Jack Brown, great competition so far for him. He will advance to the finals, and he will meet the winner of this matchup, Tyler Menega and Blake Granger. And Tyler Menega, look at lightning fast up on the pod, man. He got a start, gets across the pod, now has the lead, and Blake Granger not going to make it easy.
Wow, that was a great first move from Tyler. Blake is right there, though, on his heels. He's not giving him an inch. He's making him feel real uncomfortable. Man, these turns are going to decide it.
You hit the brakes as the track gets some ruts in and around those turns. And then look at Tyler Menega getting pushed out by Blake Granger. They are locked up. Tyler now dragging Blake Granger almost up to the pod again. And a great finish for Tyler Menega and Gravedigger.
Those are always tough matchups when you face off against your arch nemesis. As you can see there, Blake Granger is pushing the envelope. He's definitely not going to give him an inch. And man, that was almost really a photo finish.
I would have loved to see Tyler Menega just carry Blake Granger behind him across the finish line. We move on to the finals. Megalodon's Jack Brown finding himself in the finals once again this weekend, but the question is, can he match the aggressive driving we know Tyler's going to bring to this race? And so far, so good up across the pod, but Tyler pushing Jack Brown all the way to the outside, and a battle for the first place and a battle for that lane back and forth.
Wow, and now they're tangled up. Man, Jack Brown was really wanting to push the issue and try to get around Tyler, but now he's behind because he had to hit reverse.
We saw Tyler Menega locked up with Blake Granger in the semifinals, gets locked up with Jack Brown, just stringing him along right now as Tyler Menega a clear shot to victory here in the Lucas Oil Speedster obstacle course. Final turn, final straightaway, and Tyler Menega getting the win.
Tyler's will to win really paid off here in these Speedsters. He wasn't able to compete earlier in his truck, but now he's in the winner's circle with the Speedster.
Tyler getting Team Gravedigger some much-needed points. Blake Granger doing enough to maintain his lead. Let's head over to Megan, who's with Tyler Menega.
This is your second Speedster win of 2020. How are you feeling?
You know, this is awesome. Unfortunately, guys, we blew the motor in that Gravedigger truck right out after racing out here. I won't be able to come out here and freestyle. I knew I had to come out here and kick butt in these Speedsters. I can't just let Blake Granger run away with this championship. He's too new for that, and I'm a defending champion. I'll tell you right now, I'm not letting it happen.
So we've known Tyler is just a bit competitive, but now that we know the Gravedigger engine is not repairable, Tyler is done for the night, so this is Blake Granger's event to lose. Armando Castro needs to win freestyle and hope Blake is either disqualified or finishes in last place to have any chance at winning the event championship.
Yeah, and that's why we run these trucks. That's why we run these races, because anything can happen. You never know, and our fans are going to love it no matter what.
You're absolutely right. Anything can happen on any given night in Monster Jam. So the question is, can Armando Castro do the unthinkable? You'll have to stay with us as Bkt Freestyle is up next. Monster Jam trucks are driven to their limits every event, from racing to freestyle. One component of Monster Jam's continued growth and success are the 4 Bkt tires they're rolling on. They help our trucks do what they do and keep going no matter what our Monster Jam drivers throw at them. Monster Jam and Bkt growing together. Welcome back. This is Monster Jam from Kansas City. It's been the Blake Granger show. We'll find out if anyone can play spoiler and ruin the Max D blowout. It's time for everyone's favorite Monster Jam event, freestyle. This is how the event is scored. Each of our drivers will attempt a freestyle run filled with non-stop action, flow, and precision control, like this expert run by Blake Granger in Max D. Momentum, a perfect example of this is this incredible save from Bari Musawar in Zombie, and those special wow moments like this crazy stoppy save from Matt Cody in Blue Thunder. All drivers are pushing their Monster Jam trucks to its limits. Each driver is awarded a score by you, the audience. Fans in attendance at our Monster Jam events provide each driver a score immediately following their run. Fans judge our drivers based on a number of elements, including creativity and technical moves, as you see El Toro Loco taking this wheelie all the way across the pod, bringing it back down to the other side into a nose wheelie, and combination moves like that and this backflip into a moonwalk by Gravedigger. You're also looking for the all-important wow factor, such as this big air from Zombie. However, to qualify for a score, drivers must complete the first 20 seconds of their run. We start Bkt Freestyle with Joe Uri in Zombie, a Missouri native, so he is now performing in front of his hometown, his home state crowd. A lot of pride on the line. Hasn't been his night, but a sky wheelie to kick us off could give Joe Uri some much needed momentum going into the final competition of the evening.
Yes, and he's missing the zombie face, so those arms by themselves look pretty cool out there. He's got nothing to lose. Go out there and have a good time, Joe. Wave those zombie arms. He's got the task of going first in freestyle, so there's really no pressure, except that you just mentioned he's in his home state, so there's a little pressure there, but he's got the task of setting the bar really high and really going out there and just having fun.
Everybody has an off night in Monster Jam Bar. You know that to be true. I know that to be true. So a young guy like Joe Uri, how do you respond? What does it do to your confidence, and how do you react to it when you're having an off night, especially when there's that pressure of being in front of your hometown and your home state fans? And what does that do to you as a young competitor in Monster Jam?
Just got to learn from it, shake it off, and just know that you're coming back. And you really just a reset, you really just want to go there and have a good time, start out the next event with a good finish, and hopefully build momentum from that.
Joe Uri's had a great season in 2020, so nothing to be ashamed of. He can be very prideful of what he's accomplished in Zombie. I look forward to some great things from him in his Monster Jam career, but we're going to continue this run here right now. That's a great jump, clearing the entire pod. So Joe Uri needs to find that momentum and dig deep and continue jumps like that. He had an end-over-end jump a little while ago. Here's a stoppie, and he's going to do the moonwalk. There you go, kid. Right run.
Man, that was awesome. He just literally stopped on that pod and put that truck into a moonwalk. Great move right there, man. The fans love it.
And you're absolutely right. Great score for Joe Uri in Zombie in the 8.271. Here's the original Superglue replay. There's one of his great jumps. He kept jump and finally was able to get this combo move in. What a great reaction to do a technical move here in your freestyle run.
Yeah, and he did it at the end of his run, which is really good to end on a high note like that. As you can see, he's pumped up. Let's go, Joe.
A lot of pride for you there as your Zombie teammate, doing a great job, but not a lot of time to celebrate as the competition will continue with Jack Brown out of New Smyrna Beach, Florida, piloting Megalodon. Jack Brown, I feel like Jack probably thought he got robbed in the Speedster obstacle course, so maybe some redemption here for him.
Yeah, redemption is in order, and I think Jack Brown is really the one to do it. But I want to point out, did you see Jack doing his parade lap? He was working the front and rear steering back and forth like the Megalodon was swimming on dirt, Scott.
Don't you wish you could do a zombie walk in your truck? That make you a little jealous there of Megalodon.
Yeah, now I'm gonna have to come up with some kind of new move. The zombie arms is cool, and that will always stick. But man, if Jack Brown is gonna come up with moves like that before he even starts his freestyle, that's got to earn him a little few extra points there just for doing that.
We're gonna have to see if Jack Brown can make Megalodon swim in midair here at the Sprint Center. That's going to get him a win. You got to top what Joe Uri did, who had some great jumps, got some consistent momentum, and then had that dynamite technical move. So we'll see what Jack Brown has in store. Kind of stumbling a bit up the pod, now brings it back down. Jack Brown, a veteran driver, has driven a lot of trucks for Monster Jam out of New Smyrna Beach, runs out of Raising Cane Monster Trucks in DeLand, Florida with J.R. McNeil. So Jack has a lot of experience. He's a mechanic, he's a crew chief, he's a driver, can do it all, and now he's doing a great donut in Megalodon. That's swimming on the dirt, Bari.
Man, that was a perfect end to his freestyle. Blast into second place. And now Aaron Basil is going to attack this track with Monster Mud.
And Aaron Basil had a great start to his night, winning Monster Energy Monster Jam Racing. Since then has had some struggles. A bookend with a win in freestyle would do wonders for Aaron Basil's night.
It would. I'd love to see when Aaron gets excited. You know, he's a real calm and cool kind of guy, so whenever he gets excited, it puts a smile on everybody's face. So he's going to put this Monster Mud truck through the paces and see if he can't pull off a freestyle win here tonight.
Aaron Basil has a twin brother, Darren Basil, who also drives in Monster Jam as well. So the two brothers have been around the sport for a long time, very accomplished. Again, two other guys we mentioned with Jack Brown as mechanics and crew chiefs. They've done everything in a monster truck that you can possibly do. They've built them from the ground up. They work on them. They drive them. So Aaron Basil has that pedigree and that knowledge that makes him competitive each and every night.
Yeah, and that's part of it. You know, when you know these Monster Jam trucks from top to bottom, inside out, and you not only can wrench on them and repair them and fix them, then go out there and drive them on a high level, that really is just gratifying, especially for our fans. You get to connect with them on a whole nother level.
And there's something that's going on right now on the track I want to talk to you about, get your opinion. He's running out of room here on a lot of these jumps. He's getting too far out and has to stop, hit the brakes, and back up. Great Sky Willie there for Aaron Basil, though, but you've done stadium shows. You've done these arenas as well. What does that do to your momentum when you have to stop like that and back it up?
Yeah, you definitely don't want to have to stop and back up. You got to get in that rhythm, like I said before many times, in order to pull off a really good, fun freestyle.
Armando Castro now heading onto the track at El Toro Loco, one of the most popular trucks and drivers in all of Monster Jam. There's your score to beat Joe Uri. That's a very beatable score, Bari, but thus far, our other two competitors not able to touch that 8.032.
Yeah, and just coming out of the gate, I can see Armando's got great momentum. I think his energy level is already stated, so he's really going to come out here and probably rock the house. He's got two really good, crisp jumps right off the bat, but as you can see here, he's backing up, so hopefully that won't kill his momentum too much.
And prior to coming into tonight's event in Kansas City, we have 18 competitions, 6 over each event, and only 4 drivers have won any of those competitions. We've had Tyler Menega, we've had Kayla Blood, Blake Granger, and Armando Castro. Now trouble on the track for Armando Castro.
As you can see, the tech official there, he's checking the rear power switch to see if it might have gotten tripped. And it looks like that's what happened because Armando, I just heard the truck fire back up. Which is really weird because I didn't see where he might have hit the tailgate to cause that switch to trip. Nonetheless, he's back rolling.
It's all about the momentum and building up to that wow moment. We haven't seen the backflip come into play yet with the 8-pack. You see a great look at that. Those 8 tires buried into the pod coming out of nowhere, exciting the crowd. We'll see if Armando Castro can clip that. There's a great jump. Now he's feeling it, gets back up, and there's a great nose wheelie.
Nice.
And here is where Armando Castro is so skilled, getting the stoppie and the moonwalk.
And that's a reactionary move. Whenever the truck set itself up like that to kick the rear tires up, Armando had the presence of mind to hit the brakes, just the right amount of brake, because you don't want to overdo it and really end over end Awesome jump there as well.
Gets it off to the side, lands it on the 2 BKT tires, getting it back now onto the track, and that's going to do it for El Toro Loco. So he barely eclipses Zombie, but there's your new leader as we take a look at the original Super Glue glued to the action replay. Armando Castro with the run of the night so far.
Yeah, that was spectacular. The amount of air he got and the violent landing to kick that truck, the back of that truck up in the air. Man, what a great move from Armando.
We take a look at our BKT Top 5 overall event leaderboard. It is still Blake Granger's event to lose, but as we've seen tonight, nothing is a sure thing. Bernard Light, Kayla Blood, Blake Granger, all yet to hit the track. Can any of them unseat El Toro Loco here in freestyle? The conclusion is next. Monster Jam is brought to you by Great Clips, home of the online check-in app. Great Clips, it's going to be great. And by Spin Master, real trucks, real action, Monster Jam. Armando Castro is sitting in first place. He's done everything he's needed to do, but will it be enough? I'm not sure if an 8.459 is enough to hold on to the top spot, as we're used to seeing scores above 9 to win freestyle. And Barry, here is Bernard Light in Alien Invasion with a chance to win freestyle tonight.
Yes, sir. And Bernard Light has got a pretty tall task. I mean, he's seen 2 really cool moves in those moonwalks in both freestyles that are sitting up there at the top. So he's going to have to pull something out of his hat special, a wow factor that'll get these fans on his side because, man, they're the ones that vote.
And we still have not seen a backflip yet from any of our superstars on the Triple Threat Series East. Bernard Light a chance to pull that out of his bag of tricks. As you mentioned, somebody hits that backflip and lands it. That could be the end of freestyle, and that could be our new leader. We'll see. Bernard Light has it in him right now, running out of room, trying to turn things around. There's a shot of El Toro Loco. Armando Castro, your current freestyle leader, still has a chance tonight at the event championship. Blake Granger would have to finish in last place in order for that to happen. He is still yet to come, but right now the spotlight belongs to Bernard Light.
Yeah, he's doing a great job.
Whoa! End over end. That's amazing as he comes back up. A chance to save it.
Man, that's the wow factor I was talking about. If he could have saved that, the crowd would have went into a frenzy, and I'm sure it would have gained him the lead.
Listen, I love Bernard Light. I think he's a great driver, but tell me how that is a third-place freestyle run.
Yeah, sometimes the fans, they just get caught up in emotion of the moment, and they vote high. But you know what? That's part of the Monster Jam sport.
Blake Granger, as we mentioned, your BKT overall point standing, still your leader. Armando Castro currently leads freestyle. Blake Granger yet to run, so a flip-flop still a possibility here tonight in freestyle.
Yeah, Blake is not in the clear yet. He's going to have to bring it in freestyle because Armando's put himself into position.
We're about to find out where Blake Granger will end up. But first, Kayla Blood, his wife, who had a heartbreaking loss to him tonight in Atv Racing Final, will now take the track, and she's had a phenomenal weekend here at the Sprint Center. A freestyle win could go a long way to make that drive home to Louisiana a lot easier for Kayla Blood.
Oh, yeah, and that's a long drive, so she's definitely going to want to bring it here in freestyle. She's already losing body panels off that Soldier Fortune truck. And I want to point out, nobody's hit that 8-pack backflip yet, so that obstacle is still wide open. I can't help to think Kayla might at least try to attempt it. What do you think, Scott?
We've seen her love that 8-pack almost as much as you do. She's lining up right now, coming in slow, and now accelerating to the 8-pack, skies it. Soldier Fortune, almost a double backflip. She lands the save. That's your wow moment of the night. You want to talk about Monster Energy Action of the Week? That one had Neil Elliott beat.
Yeah, that was not only a backflip, that was a forward momentum backflip, and I think it surprised Kayla as she was able to power out of that move. As you can see, everybody's still buzzing off of that. That was amazing, man. Hats off to her for pulling that off.
That's what you need. So now she actually is helping her husband, Blake Granger. If she gets this win, or at least knocks Armando Castro out of first place, that will give Blake Granger some more cushion to win the overall event championship. So it's going to be a great night for the Grangers as they do make that drive home to Lafayette, Louisiana. But she just an unbelievable night for her, an unbelievable freestyle run capping off this weekend in Kansas City.
Yes, and the fans tell it all right there. I mean, this incredible move alone would have probably won her freestyle. It's just amazing that she's able to keep her composure, stab the brakes there, and the moment it counted, there you see the score. She blasts in the first place.
And that is what we call in Monster Jam a nearly unbeatable score, 9.834. Not a lot of wiggle room if you're Bkt Granger, but he does not have to win freestyle to win the event championship. He could give his wife the freestyle win and take home the event championship, and then everybody's happy.
Yeah, that would make the ride home to the Granger residents very happy for the both of them. I mean, not too many people have pulled off a forward momentum backflip like that, especially in an arena setting like that. So Kayla's got a nice little feather in her cap for that one for sure.
You wonder if Bkt Granger's going to play it a little conservative here tonight. He knows he doesn't have to win, maybe not do a whole lot of damage to the truck. It's been a unforgiving weekend when it comes to the momentum and the efforts put on a 12,000-pound Monster Jam truck, and now some technical issues for Bkt Granger.
Yeah, the drivetrain is locked up in the rear of the truck, so he can't move. He basically crippled Max D to a 5th place finish, so you got to tip your hat to Kayla Blood because, man, if not, Armando might have snuck in there for that win.
Technical issues for Bkt Granger, but does just enough as he holds on to the lead and takes the overall event win. Armando and Kayla kept it interesting, but it was Blake's night. Let's go down to Megan.
This is your 3rd overall event championship this week. You've got to be feeling great.
Woo, man, it's awesome to be out here taking 3 for 4. Man, Tyler, I feel for you, brother. He's one of the baddest dudes in the game. We didn't want to do this with a motor down for Gravedigger, but hey, we lost 2 motors earlier this year. He was able to get a jump on him. Here we are taking it back.
Max D driver Bkt Granger with an extremely successful weekend here in Kansas City. By holding off a late surge from Armando Castro and his better half, Kayla Blood, he claims his 3rd overall event championship win out of the last 4. For Barry Musauer and Megalodon, I'm Scott Jordan. Good night from Kansas City, and thank you for watching Monster Jam.